Hello everyone. If you are bored with the dining table at your home, today let's explore with us some extremely unique and creative dining table designs. Imagine a table that is not only a place to eat, but also a symbol of style and sophistication, decorated with intricate and unique details. You can own a table with a classic mechanical clock or even simulate a sparkling ocean right on the surface, bringing elegance and luxury to your home, like a 5-star hotel. Our first step is to cut the wood into small sections. Take to thin wooden boards and secure them onto the table. Although it might not look very appealing at first, don't worry. In just a little while, when we're done, you'll be completely amazed by its beauty. Use a specialized sander to smooth the wood surface, eliminating any rough spots. The hollow parts will be treated with a drill to remove all dirt, and the bark will be completely stripped off. The small pieces of wood will be cleaned and finely sanded. Then coated with a layer of epoxy resin to ensure a sturdy and glossy surface. The clock will be the centerpiece of the table, like a beating heart within a masterpiece. We will use its outer rim as a mold first, temporarily setting aside the inner mechanism. Mark the position for the clock frame and create a mold for the table. Seal the edges with silicone to ensure no gaps remain. Pour a clear layer of epoxy resin over the clock frame and wait 12 hours for it to dry. Then place it in the previously marked position and continue sealing the gaps with silicone. The surface of the mold will be coated with wax to prevent the table surface from sticking too tightly to the mold, making it easier to dismantle. Once prepared, pour the first layer of epoxy resin and use a heat gun to eliminate air bubbles. Wait for the surface to dry and pour another layer of resin, spreading it evenly and heating it again. Allow this layer to dry for 8 hours. The next resin layer will be used to fix the wooden pieces into the mold. 2 large wooden boards will be placed on either side of the table, with smaller wood pieces arranged in between according to your aesthetic sense, ensuring they are evenly spread and filling the table's surface. Once arranged, pour resin to fill the gaps, making sure this resin layer is clearer than the one at the bottom and sealing all gaps. After the resin dries, continue pouring resin for the table surface. This resin layer will be transparent to enhance the table's aesthetic, with several layers added to create the desired thickness. This layer will need 3 days to dry completely. After the waiting period, dismantle the mold from the table surface and you will have a perfectly sized tabletop. The next step is to sand the surface smooth and trim any excess edges to the correct dimensions. Apply masking tape to the lower edge to prevent the epoxy resin from dripping down. This will be the final resin layer, so pour it carefully to avoid any mistakes. Spread it thinly and evenly, and don't forget to use the heat gun to remove all air bubbles. Once the top is finished, we proceed to treat the underside, beveling the corners and edges for safer use. The clock will be fixed from the underside and screwed around to ensure it is securely in place. Finally, a table leg is indispensable to complete the masterpiece. The cross frames will be welded symmetrically, creating a blend of softness and sturdiness. A coat of black paint will transform it into an impressive focal point. We carefully measure to ensure the table leg is perfectly balanced and securely bolted in place, guaranteeing stability over time. Insert the battery for the clock to start its movement, sensing with the rhythm of life. Isn't it wonderful? Pieces of wood that seemed useless are reborn, transformed into an incredibly elegant and sophisticated table. Every detail, every step reflects dedication and creativity, delivering to us a true work of art. Next, we will make another table. This time, it will be a larger table. Start by splitting this large piece of wood in half. The wood is quite sturdy, so you will need a powerful saw. The flat section will be the edge of the table, while the inside will be the rough waving lines. This table will have a width of 1 meter. Use a grinder to clean the outer shell and any uneven areas on the surface. Apply a protective coating on the surface. The surface is still quite rough, so use a lathe to smooth it out evenly. Once the surface treatment is complete, place the pieces into the prepared mold and secure them firmly. These colorful glitter powders will be used to add vibrancy to our table. Mix epoxy resin according to the ratio, add a little dark blue color, and stir it well. Glitter powders are essential to create a sparkling mixture. Pour it evenly into the mold. Next, add a layer of lighter blue, followed by another layer of darker blue, alternating them. Shake it well to blend the colors. It should resemble the surface of the ocean with alternating light and dark patches. Use a heat gun to remove any air bubbles on the surface. Wait for this layer to dry. Then we will continue to pour a little more glue onto the surface. You can use your hands to spread the resin evenly over all edges. Now comes the most creative part, choosing beautiful and eye-catching stones to decorate the table surface. Gently place each stone into the wet resin, arranging them according to your idea and inspiration. The epoxy resin will hold these stones securely, creating a solid and durable base. To recreate the coastline, add small pebbles and fine white sand. The pebbles can be arranged into small, wavy beach strips, while the white sand will form a smooth beach. This step requires not only creativity, but also a skilled hand to ensure that every detail is perfect. As you scatter the pebbles and sand, imagine you are painting a miniature natural scene, where the beach gradually comes to life in a vivid and realistic way. To make the coastline more lively, add a few layers of light blue and white epoxy resin. These layers will create the effect of small white waves crashing onto the shore. Using a heat gun, you can create realistic wave patterns and add white wave foam, making the table surface look like an ocean viewed from above. Continue mixing the final layer of epoxy resin, which will be a lighter blue and without glitter powders. Use a heat gun to ensure no air bubbles remain. Waiting for the resin to dry completely is a very important step, after which carefully remove the mold. Use a lathe to smooth the table surface, ensuring it achieves maximum flatness. The table edges also need to be meticulously and neatly trimmed. Especially, beveling the table corners not only creates a refined look, but also ensures absolute safety during everyday use. Use a sanding machine to finely sand the entire table surface. Then, use a polishing solution to polish the table surface. The table gradually becomes glossy and splendid, reflecting light in a subtle manner. Don't forget to give it a protective coating to help maximize the durability of the table. The table surface looks like a straight flowing across, with each detail meticulously crafted and creatively designed. This table is a work of art that adds elegance, sophistication, luxury, and class to your home, becoming a striking focal point in your living space.